Hello everyone, this is Mr. Lipchick for Economics, and I am going to take a few moments to explain the instructions for the Unit 1 portfolio. The Unit 1 portfolio, entitled No Dogs Allowed, will ask you to make a decision on whether or not to provide a public good, which in this case is the dog park. The fundamental question that you must consider is if the benefits of building the dog park for the entire community outweigh the costs to the entire community. And for the purpose of this exercise, do not consider the dogs themselves, as they are not community taxpayers. You are only to consider tax-paying adults who live in this particular community, who will be funding it through their incomes and their property. The first thing that you will need to do is carefully examine the fact sheet included with the instructions and take a good look at everything that's listed there. All of these facts should be considered when you make your decision of whether or not to build the park. You will answer a series of questions, numbered 1 to 10, which will take you through the process of making this decision. Okay, we'll go through each question. Question number 1, what economic questions does this case require the town to ask? Well, the fundamental question, as we all know, is whether or not to build the park, but what other questions must be asked first? Think about what the town would lose and gain economically from building the park, and take the facts from the fact sheet into consideration and break question 1 down into smaller economic questions that need to be asked in order to make your decision. Question number 2. List the possible resources that the town would need to construct and maintain the park. First, consider the resources listed on the fact sheet, and then consider other possible resources that might be required for such a project. Question number 3. What town resources are scarce? Well, technically, they are all scarce. All resources are finite. However, some resources are more scarce than others. For instance, gold is more scarce than steel. Okay, some are more scarce than others, and you should list and discuss these in your answers. Take a look at the fact sheet again and think about what the scarce resources in the town are that need to be taken into account when you make your analysis in your final decision. Question number 4. Who will be the consumers using this park? If you answer that it will be the dogs, you are wrong. The dogs are not part of this economic transaction. Yes, we all like dogs. They're cute and cuddly and fun, and they're great companions, but they are not taxpayers. You are considering the tax-paying citizens of this community. Who among them will be the consumers of this public good? Dogs are not citizens, as I said, and they are not part of this economic transaction. Consider if other people, or people other than the residents, might wind up using the park. Question number 5. What is the opportunity cost of building this park? Rephrase, this question is asking you if there is an important community benefit that is being foregone if resources are used to build the park. What are you giving up? Think about alternative uses for these resources. That would be a good way to come up with your answer. Question number 6. Identify at least one pro and one con for each of the following options. A, leaving the land undeveloped, and B, selling the land to real estate developers to build homes. When answering this question, do not only consider immediate benefits, but possible future benefits. Question number 7. What, if any, market failures might exist in this town? Market failures refer to the inefficient distribution of goods and services that might be better provided as public goods or services. They do not refer to the state of the local economy. I do not want to see answers such as the stock market may have crashed or their local economy is bad. That has nothing to do with the question. If you answer that way you don't understand what a market failure is, and you need to go back and read and figure out what a market failure is. Question number 8. Create a chart that identifies the positive and negative externalities of building the park. Explain the effect of each externality. The externalities are unintended consequences, positive or negative, of building the park. Hence the term externalities. They are external to the intent of the transaction. A sample chart will be posted on the message board that you can cut and paste into your paper and type directly into if you have trouble making charts. Question number 9. How could the town government counteract the negative externalities? For this question, consider how the government might deal with any negative unintended side effects of building the park, and consider if these solutions are cost-effective and reasonable. And finally, number 10, write a persuasive argument for or against building the park. Justify your position with economic arguments only. Do not use emotional or sentimental appeals to dog lovers. Don't write things like, the poor little dogs need to exercise, and it's inhumane, and that'll get you a 0 on this question for sure. Okay, economics is not about fairness. It's not about sentimentality. It is about the proper allocation of resources and benefiting the people in the transaction. And the dogs, once again, are not part of the transaction, although their owners may be. You should provide at least 3 supporting details to justify your argument, all factual and all based on economics. And you must use economic terms and concepts to support your argument. If something is a benefit, you need to list it as a benefit. If something's an opportunity cost, you need to explain that. So, in conclusion, keep your argument factual and professional. Do not appeal to sentiment. Decisions such as these have major impacts, positive or negative, on small communities. You may be on a zoning board someday or a school board and have to make similar decisions. Be sure to read the instructions, as always. And if you need additional help, be sure to call me at 412-875-6133. Thank you for participating, and I look forward to seeing you in the next live lesson. Have a great day and good luck with this project.